How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Will?
What up, what up?
Welcome, everybody, to Story of the Fight. My name's Mario. That's my boy, Will. This is where we talk all things combat sports. Today, we're going to be covering UFC 318 Holloway versus Poirier 3, the end of an era. But before we do, I want to remind everybody, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, goes a long way. Look, for a while, we've been preaching. We're trying to reach 16,000. Your boys hit 16,000 already. So we're at 16,000 subscribers. That's right. But we're trying to reach that 20,000 now, right? So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let everybody know that likes combat sports to join us. We'd like to chat live. If they don't like watching through YouTube, which I highly recommend, but if they don't like watching through YouTube, they like listening. They got other ways, right, Will?
Yeah, if you just want to listen, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. We highly recommend YouTube because we have the video, we show clips of the fights, we show pictures of the fights. We have timestamps where you can skip to specific fights because we're going to be talking about the whole card, UFC 318. And then if you want to follow us on socials, just go to storyofthefight.com. It'll list all of them: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. We're on Twitch as well. It's just Story of the Fight on everything. Easy peasy.
Yes, easy peasy. Now, it's time. Let's talk about UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier 3. I said in the beginning, Will, the end of an era, a very emotional moment for a lot of grown-ass men, Will.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, last night, as soon as that first video popped up where he's sitting there in front of the large screens, and I'm like, man, this is pretty emotional. Then his daughter hops on.
Oh, that's the part, dude.
How proud she is of him. Bro, I'm just over here just like...
Bro, and then you see, when he's watching that part, you see, like, this part of his mouth, like, kind of twitch and stuff. Like, it starts to, like, wobble. And you're like, oh, no, dude. Don't do this.
It was insane. And we'll talk about the fight in a minute, but we just have to talk about the lead up, right? We all know Dustin Poirier, what he's done for all the fans in his career, giving us moment after moment after moment.
Dude.
And, so for him to announce, hey, this is going to be my last fight, the last dance, they called it, the event's in New Orleans. He's from Lafayette, Louisiana. So he's a Louisiana boy through and through, and it's a home fight going up against another legend, man, Max Holloway, and for him, how awesome is that, dude? He could have said, hey, give me somebody else, right? Like, this is my last fight. He didn't want that. He wanted to go out fighting one of the best. That's what he's been doing for years. So the lead up, everything's just excitement. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. And he wanted to go out getting the BMF belt, right? This was for the BMF belt too.
I think also just against another great, and then just in an action fight. You don't want to be... You don't want to be grappling the whole. We both love grappling, but we don't want to see him fight a wrestler and get smothered for his retirement fight or anything crazy like that. But it does show you kind of what he means to the sport, that the UFC didn't give him some like up and coming killer to get a win over him to build a name or anything like that. We don't get that with Dustin, and I think partly because of he's 36. This is his 40th pro fight. He may be not there at the champion level at this point in his career, or like where he's at as an athlete, but we never got to see the fall from grace of Dustin. And I think that's what he talked about too. He wants to leave on his own accord and with all his faculties, and not on a 8-fight losing streak, or losing to guys he probably shouldn't be. I mean, you look at the resume, the one time you could argue maybe was the Benoit Saint-Denis fight. And you're like, ooh, is this a fight that, prime Dustin wins this fight, but what about this Dustin at 35 fucking smokes him? So you're like, okay, he's still at the top, right? He shut the gate every time somebody tried to get through. I don't want to call him a gatekeeper or anything like that, but a perennial top 5 guy, fought for the belt multiple times, interim champion. And we never really got to see the fall from grace, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Most guys, we don't get that.
Absolutely. And he's been super smart about it, man. He's started his own businesses off to the side. He has, his foundation, the Good Fight Foundation. He has so many things going on. And for him to say, look, I know that what I do isn't good for you. So I also want to be able to remember walking my daughter down the aisle. And he's doing it the right way, man, and for the right reasons. And so I'm super happy for Dustin Poirier. You know, and it maybe didn't end the way he would have liked it, but we can go ahead and talk about the fight now that we've talked about the buildup, what this meant, why so many grown-ass men were so emotional last night, and we'll cover it a little bit more. So we had Holloway versus Poirier 3. This is the third time meeting. Will, the first one, I believe, was Holloway's debut into the UFC.
It was when he was like 20. That was in 2012. And and real quick, shout out Pepper NG in the chat. This is the first time he actually sat down, watched a UFC event, and for the record, I was always on Team Max. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you don't want to see either of these guys lose. All you can really do, I told shout out Julian, I was telling him, you know, because he was like, I don't know what to even think about this matchup, and I was like, you know, it's probably better for the sport if Max wins moving forward from this fight, right? He's still going to be at lightweight, all this stuff. It's better for him to go out on a win out of this, but it's probably better for my heart if Dustin wins. I want to see him win in his retirement fight against a legend like Max. But that's kind of where it's at. Ultimately, when it's a fight like this, I think all you can really ask for is a good fight. I don't want to see a bad fight. I don't want to see either of these guys lose. I want to see them both win. Just hope for a good fight. And we got it. Yeah, no, I don't want to draw either. Hey, shout out Regen. Been a while. What up, boys? What a fight. What a night. Yeah. Shout out Regen. Make sure you check out his channel too. Also, NG, check out Pepper on Instagram. He's got some cool Muay Thai videos. Shout out Grimory on Twitch. Respect. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for joining
us. But yeah, let's get into the actual fight. Fight starts. Yes. The walkout. UFC, what the fuck are we doing? First off, this is Dustin's retirement fight. We're like, we haven't been to Louisiana in 10 years since he knocked out Yancy Medeiros, if you remember that beatdown. Is his retirement fight. We're putting him at the main event. We're doing this basically for Dustin as a farewell. Let's have him walk out first.
That's not how it works. But that's not how it works, right? Because he's the one. We have Max, the one that's defending the title. It'd be different if it wasn't for the title.
No.
The made-up title.
Hold on. The title that they made up. They made up this title. It's not a real belt. It's a BMF
not a real belt. BMF belt.
They make all the rules, meaning they can change them whenever they want, and they do.
But Dustin is the challenger.
Why not this time?
Dustin's the challenger in this case.
No,
fake belt or not, this is the process they followed. And look,
they don't follow a process ever.
I'll sit back and let you shit on the UFC all day, every day. And a lot of times I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah.
But in this case, I feel like they did such a good job with Dustin's send-off. No, yes, it would have been awesome for him to walk out later and everything. But yes, they followed the process that they've had in place for years. Fake belt or not, you know, old belt, new belt. It's the process. He was the challenger. He comes in a little bit later.
No, but hold on, though. Real quick. They do make exceptions. All the rules that they create, heavier title fights go on after for the main event if there's two titles on the card. But they make exceptions. When Conor fought Mendez for the not even a real belt, they had him go on in the main event over the welterweight title
for the
Rory
interim
versus Robbie. Yeah, so it's like they do make rules, but they break them for special occasions. If this wasn't a special occasion,
when's the last time you saw a challenger walk out last?
It doesn't matter when it's not a real belt.
I'm just saying. This is like, we shouldn't be surprised or say like, hey, the UFC did Dustin Poirier dirty.
I'm not saying they did him dirty. I'm just saying, how do you drop the ball on that? Especially when they do all these great things for him with the farewell package earlier in the card.
Yes.
They do all this stuff.
Then he shows in Louisiana too. With all the voodoo, they weren't worried about the voodoo.
So what's one more concession? A minor concession that would have made the moment much better.
I'm just saying, look, usually shit on the UFC all you want. I think they did a phenomenal job. In this case, that is a small thing.
It is.
Everything else I felt like was such an awesome farewell for Dustin Poirier. Truly. And yes, they could have made another exception, but they didn't. And look, first round starts off.
Yeah.
And your boy's in trouble right off the bat.
Right away.
Holloway lands. Was it a straight right? I think it was.
Straight right, yeah.
And I thought, okay, it might be an early night. Might be an early night.
Rear hand. Well, because that was the question, right? We're like, the big difference in the second fight was that the first fight was at featherweight when Max was 20. long time ago. Second fight was at lightweight, but it was short notice for Max. He even calls himself Muffin Top Max. He was just trying to put on any sort of weight to make lightweight. And so he wasn't like a real lightweight versus Dustin. And then we see him fight Gaethje, where he fully bulked up for that at UFC 300. And we see Max has power at lightweight. And that wasn't there in the second Dustin fight, sorry. But in this fight, you're like, okay, this new lightweight Max, let's see, because the power difference was very noticeable in their second fight at lightweight. Let's see now how it works in this one. And almost the first clean punch he lands drops
Stuns him, yeah.
Dustin. And you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a very different fight. Right away, we know this is different.
And then Dustin tries to get back up, right? And as he's still kind of hunched over, Max lands a huge left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no, this is not how you want to go out.
I was so mad, dude.
But, you know, Dustin recovers very well. And this is when I really notice it, because you mentioned the size difference for Max. He's coming in now as a true 155er. He did it the right way, not up and down in weight. When they both stood up after that, I was like, oh, shit. I just realized right now, like, Max looks massive in there.
Dude, he looked much bigger than Dustin.
He looked massive.
Yeah, he looked bigger. And you could see he still has the speed, which is crazy. His hand speed is so good. And, you know, we've seen Dustin kind of be hittable early on in fights. Like if you watch all the Conor fights, Conor's lighting him up early in those fights. And you see him, you know, knock his head back and wobble and readjust. And you're like, oh, shit, dude, is this a short night for Dustin? And then as the fight, he kind of settles into a fight. He picks up his defense a little bit better. And I was like, man, if we can just get to that point, hopefully we're good. First round was tough. Second round, Max hurts him again early. And you're like, oh, no, dude. Like, we're in the fight now. And he's still getting hurt. And Max hits him with like a 4-punch combination. And Dustin's just backing up, getting hit by all these punches. And you're like, dude, you cannot be taking these. You know?
Yeah.
And Shout out Blunderbo says, look, man, they let people retire at the Apex, so they've done worse. They have done worse.
I
mean,
mean,
Stipe didn't get shit. Stipe literally got nothing.
Some people didn't even get post-fight interview. They're like, hey, all right, dude, just leave your gloves. Or not even, like, hey, dude, pick your shit up, dude. You left your trash here, okay?
Yeah.
Take it with you.
As soon as you put them down, pick them up, get the fuck out. But so, yeah, Max hurts Dustin early in the second round too, and you're like, oh,
beautiful combo,
man.
like you said. That was a beautiful combo, right? Like when he came in with the right, then he lands that left shovel hook that really cracked Dustin. Oh, beautiful.
Because you do kind of have to throw things like shovel hooks and stuff like that on Dustin because he does block. I mean, in Max's words in that second fight,
he has
blocking weird.
Yeah.
Philly shell kind of like elbows out. I forgot what they call it. Like cross blocking and stuff like that. But you know, after that in the second round when he got hurt, I was like, oh no, man. But then he starts landing his jab, and Max is doing a good job kicking. He's kicking a ton. They're both open stance, and the body kick for Max was landing constantly. And then he's throwing that side kick to the knee, just really disrupting Dustin, not letting him shift into his left hand like he does. But eventually he starts kind of mixing it up, and you see Dustin enter the fire to land his shots. And you can see he's like, okay, I can't stay at the end of these strikes for Max, this body kick or these long straight punches. I'm getting lit up. So what does he do? When he starts this is what makes Dustin so special. When he starts getting lit up, he steps in.
Yeah.
It's not let me cover up. It's not let me shoot, which there's no disrespect for shooting. If you need to shoot, you need to shoot. And
sometimes he'll jump the ghillie.
Yeah. And we'll talk about shooting later when it gets to the firefight. But something that Dustin has done in his entire career, when he starts getting lit up, he enters that fire and he throws back with fire of his own. He fights fire with fire. And I can't imagine anybody else who embodies, you know, you'll hear Teddy Atlas talk about it all the time. These are firemen. When there's a fire, they step into the fire. And Dustin is one of those guys. Look at this picture right here. This doesn't look like somebody who's ready to go to war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what does he do? Later on in that same round, he starts entering the pocket with Max and you know, extending these exchanges because, dude, when he starts slugging with somebody, he's heavy-handed, man. When he sits down and starts punching, and Max, I don't know if he got too careless because he was very in and out for the first like section of this fight, the first like 9 minutes of it, 8 minutes. And then Dustin cracks him with the right hand. And you're like, oh, that was a big one. And then he cracks him again, and Max goes down. Dude, when he dropped Max, I jumped out of my seat, grabbed my head. I was like, no fucking way this guy who just got dropped in the first 7 minutes twice, now he's dropping Max. Like, what a fucking guy. In his retirement fight, jumps the guillotine, and I was like, no fucking way he's about to guillotine him in his
If he
retirement
would have
fight.
won like that, oh my god.
Could you imagine, dude? Did you think it was gonna be? Did you think he had him there when he hurt him?
No. I didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like he had it in. Like he didn't have
No.
it.
I just mean when he dropped him.
No.
When Max got dropped.
No, I didn't. Max, I think that people forget Max is extremely resilient too, and we've seen him
durable.
recently get knocked out by Topuria, but
And that was another
Topuria's
question.
knocking everybody out though.
But that was also another question going in the matter of when does Max's chin crack? Because while he has the record way ahead of everybody else as far as significant strikes landed, he also absorbs a ton of shots.
Yeah,
It's not like
and
he's
it's natural, right? After a while, the human body is going to want to throw up its self-defense mechanism a lot faster.
Yeah.
So I'm getting cracked against
And-
Topuria. Now he's getting dropped. Max would never get dropped off of anything.
well, I believe Ilya was the first one to drop him, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the second time he's ever been knocked down in his whole career. So going into this, the biggest questions for me wasn't necessarily like how much does Dustin still have in him with his retirement fight, because we hadn't seen the drop off like we were talking about earlier. So that wasn't really a question going into this for me. The two biggest questions for me was how does Dustin fight, or how does Max perform as a true lightweight now against Max or against Dustin compared to their second or their first fight in lightweight. With him carrying this weight correctly, how different does that make this fight? The second biggest question was, what does Max look like after that knockout from Ilya? Because we've never seen him even dropped. We know he takes a ton of damage in his fights. We've never seen him get dropped. He got flatlined by Ilya. This is the bounce back fight. What do we got? Both those questions were answered, which is for me the best part of the sport is, these types of questions at the highest level getting answered where, when he carries this weight, he hits different at lightweight. He's a real lightweight now. It's not like a featherweight who is fighting these guys at a size disadvantage. He's hitting hard. And then secondly, he took some hard fucking shots from Dustin in this fight. And he got dropped once, but the recovery was there. How crazy was that moment, though?
Hawaiian chin, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, this moment right here at the end of that round where Dustin had him hurt. The bell rings. No one even heard it. The ref, Herzog didn't hear it. Dustin didn't hear it. Max didn't hear it. I forgot who said it in the post-fight press conference, but they were like, the cage doors were opening. They were still fighting because officials heard it and they were getting in. And they're like, oh, shit, dude.
Just let him go, dude. Just let him go. Herzog, just push everybody back out. Get out of here. Dude,
Man.
it's crazy, man. But just overall, right, such a solid fight. Did you have Max Holloway winning?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right.
And the fight continued. They basically just slugged it out for the rest of this fight. Both tagging each other. At no point after that, I don't think anybody was really ever hurt bad. No one ever else.
No, but from that point on, whoever went first,
yes,
and whoever was extending the combos,
yes,
was getting the better of the exchanges.
And I think one thing, you're definitely right about that. And I think one thing that maybe shows, like, yeah, maybe it is a good time for Dustin to hang him up is he definitely did seem much more hesitant for the rest of this fight after feeling that power from Max. Both times he was dropped, you could tell he wasn't crashing in like he normally would. And I think that's a very good thing for him to realize and know about himself, saying, hey, I don't really need this any longer. I don't need to jump into this firefight like I'd always do. I still can. We saw it where he drops him, but at this point in his career, if that's not your instinct, then maybe it is time to walk away before it gets too bad, before we start to see a drop off.
How about this moment right here, Will? We all know it's like 12 seconds, I want to say, left on the clock, and Dustin looks up at the clock because he knows it's coming, bro.
Dude, even at 30 seconds,
coming.
he kept looking up. He was like, okay.
And we finally get to the 11-second mark. You have Max that points down in the center of the octagon. Dustin agrees. First thing Dustin does, though, is shell up, right?
He's like,
And
let me wear a couple, and then
yeah. Max
go.
rips to the body, dude. Dustin throws one shot.
Dude, but that right hook that Dustin lands, dude, that completely twists the head and then snaps back at Max. That right hook that he landed on Max was fucking huge.
Max did not
Max
care.
Max doesn't give a fuck. He comes back with
He's
like a
so
6-punch
crazy.
combination to
Talk
the
about a
point where
firefighter.
Dustin's like, I gotta clinch, dude. This is fucking gnarly.
Well, he got clipped though. Dustin got clipped as well, and you saw a
dude,
point where like
got
he was
lit up.
like, "Oh man, I gotta hold on to Max right now."
Let's watch it.
Oh my goodness!
From
Talk about a
cage side
moment
footage.
Here we
Look at
go.
that.
Points down.
Final moment of his career.
Little dap. Boom, rips the body, lands one right hook on the chin, and then Max just unloads, bro.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Dude, you see that right hook that Dustin lands, the flurry from Max, then the right hook from Dustin. Max sets up, acknowledges that shot, and just says, let's fucking go. And then comes back with like a 12-punch combination. Watch Max's reaction when he gets hit with that right hook.
So he
It's
points
crazy,
down again,
man.
Right? They give a little dap here.
Right hook, here it goes, bam.
And he says,
Dude,
yeah.
Max acknowledges that and says, that's what I'm fucking here for. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. And I see some people giving Dustin some shit. Wow, you go out like I thought he would have gone out in his shield to end his career, but instead he clinches him in that moment. Yeah, and Regen, not gonna lie, Dustin kind of ruined the point down at the end. But again, I think that is exactly why this is his retirement fight. In that moment, he even said in the post-fight press conference, he's like, I got hit a couple times, and I was like, I'm driving my daughter home. I told her we're watching a movie. I thought, let's wrestle. And that is why this is the time to retire. Don't let it get too far.
2 years ago would have just gone out on a shield, dude.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, you don't go for a clinch or a takedown during the point down. Look, to his credit, he did throw down. He gave a good shot. We had another moment earlier in the card, Brendan Allen versus Vettori, which somehow won fight of the night, where they point down at the end. And Brendan initiates it. He points down. They throw 2 shots, and he shoots for like a legit takedown. And you're like, hey, man, you're the one that pointed down.
Hey, man.
Andre Fili,
even Dana said, he's like, dude, look, there's a bunch of people that point down at the center of the cage, but nobody really wants it. There's one guy that fucking wants it. Yeah, and that's Max Holloway. Every single time he'll point down and he'll go at it.
To be fair, Gaethje wanted it too.
Yes, he wanted all the smoke, and he got all the smoke. So, hey, I just want to read a couple things. So, Regen, when talking about the retirement, said it couldn't have gone any better. I mean, if he would have won, it might have been better. But
yeah,
Max looked unbeatable early on, and Dustin was able to show who the F he is. Yes. And Max goes on, hopefully, for another title fight, right? Absolutely.
Exactly.
When you talk storybook, again, writing it out, in hometown, last fight because you want to focus on your family. You're still, one of the fan favorites. You have celebrities. You have other fighters because you're other fighters' favorite fighter.
Yeah.
You have everybody there in attendance just giving you your flowers, man. The only thing Hollywood written would have been he wins.
Yes.
Everything else, so good.
Dude, every single thing on like a perfect retirement was checked off, except for the win, which ultimately, okay, you came up short on the win, but he didn't get outclassed. He didn't get knocked out in that first round when he got dropped.
Fun fight.
He like Regen said, he answered back from that adversity.
Yes.
Threw down. It was a great fight. He got to walk out without being knocked out. He got to get interviewed by DC, another Louisiana legend in MMA.
And Max, so classy, dude. He's like, hey, just want to say, whoever wants this BMF belt, like, I got you, blah, blah, but this is my moment. This is Dustin Poirier's moment. Dude, class.
Did he do the same thing for Korean Zombie? I think he did.
I think so. I think you're right.
I think he did a quick interview and was like, Korean Zombie's a legend. Let him do his thing now.
Dude,
I'm
Max,
out.
dude. And then did you see his son?
Rush, yeah.
He was thanking Dustin in the octagon. There's footage of him in the back, right, where he thanks Dustin for giving his dad an opportunity to be his last fight. And then Dustin's like, dude, your dad gave me the opportunity. Yeah. And he congratulates him on his career. I'm like, dude, that entire family.
Yeah, very
Class
cool.
acts, dude.
Dude, and
Class
then
act.
Dustin on his way out, you got legends like the Korean Zombie and stuff. We were just talking. I mean, they've shared the octagon together, right? They fought, and they all the people who were giving him his flowers on his way out really show you the type of guy he is. Like you said, there's celebrities
Yes.
there and stuff, but the fighters who were there to recognize his final fight and give him
All lined
the
up at the end.
respect.
All lined up at the
Legends.
end.
Joanna, dude. Oh my God, come on. You got Joanna, you got Korean Zombie. Who else was there? I think Kayla Harrison was there.
I
Not quite
wasn't
the
gonna mention her
same,
because you
but
mentioned legends, but
yeah, not quite the same, but still cool. She's a champion, right?
Yeah.
But to have the Korean Zombie and Joanna there especially Joanna with her ties to Florida as well, like just very, very cool. Dustin is a very special fighter, man. There's not a lot of guys like him,
In and out.
you know.
In and out of the octagon.
Yeah, and there's people. I do got to ask you this.
Please.
Do you
Ask.
think, because this is contentious. To me, it's a no-brainer, but a lot of people are like, what? No. Hall of Fame?
Dustin?
Yeah.
What? In the words of
Bro,
Marvin Vettori, how's that even a question?
bro, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are like, well, he never even got a belt. How are you going to get?
Stop
I'm like,
it.
shut the fuck
Stop it.
up.
Go through
Where's
the
my
list.
number?
I wish we had this ready to go. If I would have known you were going to ask me that, I would have pulled up recent Hall of Fame
Yeah.
inductees.
Well, I will say, I looked at it because I was like, wait, is there like some crazy high standard that I'm not aware of?
Regen says that's not even a question. How's that even a question?
Thank
Again,
you. Thank you.
can you rip that portion, Marvin Vettori, for your soundboard?
Oh, yeah. I
Remember
will.
when they're like, "Hey, who's better dressed, you?" And he's like, "How's that even a question?" All high pitched,
Yeah.
all pissed off, dude.
That's
so
very good.
funny.
I will pull that.
Yeah, please.
But a lot of people are like, what the fuck? No, he never got a belt. All this stuff. He came up short every single time. And you're like, shut the fuck up. This guy, Cowboy, I looked it up. So I was like, what's the standard that these guys are like holding so dear for the UFC Hall of Fame? Fucking Cowboy Cerrone's in it. If Cowboy's in it, Dustin's in it twice.
And
You
look,
know
I
what I'm
love
talking
Cowboy
about?
too. I love
I
Cowboy.
love Cowboy too, but let's be real. Dustin,
Part
I
of
think, has
this is
accomplished much
also
more.
like who was able to invoke so much emotion within fans every single time that their face was on the card, where people were like, "This is a must watch," like where they had an impact for the organization.
Dustin has
Come on,
delivered.
man.
Like Max said, he was at the end of this fight in the post-fight press conference. He's like, all you can really do in this game, you can't control the rankings, you can't control a lot of things in this fight game, but you can control creating moments. If you can create moments, that's
I'm
at the
getting
end of the
chills
day,
again, dude.
yeah. Dustin
Oh,
arguably has created more moments than, I don't want to say the majority of champions, but there's a lot of champions who don't deliver the moments that Dustin has delivered, even though they did get the belt, an undisputed belt.
you know what?
Um,
It's probably those casuals out there that just started watching
they just
when
look
you
at
fought Conor
Wikipedia
McGregor,
records.
and they're like, "So you beat Conor McGregor, all right, dude?" Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Max Holloway, Islam Makhachev, Benoit
Hold on, hold on, hold
Saint-Denis,
on.
where he knocked him out. Justin
Max Holloway,
Gaethje,
Max Holloway 3 times.
3
Gaethje
times.
twice. Eddie
Chandler,
Alvarez
Oliveira,
twice.
Connor twice. The Dan Hooker fight, do you remember that one?
Legendary.
Where Dan Hooker's just
Legendary.
off in the corner, dude. It's an absolute war. Dustin Poirier stands up early, walks towards Dan Hooker, and is like, "You ready, man? Let's go, dude. Let's go."
Bro, after
Khabib,
the fight, Hooker's on the stool, just fucking concussed and bloody, and they're tending to him. And Dustin's up in the center of the cage saying, "How about that, Dan? How about that, Dan?" You're like, "Holy fuck,
the
dude!"
war with Eddie Alvarez.
Multiple
Oh
times.
my god. Multiple times, yeah. We got to see that, the illegal knee. We got to see it
We
live.
were there.
Hey, we were
Yeah.
able to say we at least got to see Dustin Poirier in person live.
At least once.
That's pretty fucking cool, huh? Oh man, I don't want to get all emotional talking about it right now, dude. Believe it or not, it was a very emotional night for your boy last night. My wife had already fallen asleep, so I couldn't be as loud as I wanted to. But it's okay because I probably wasn't going to be extremely loud other than during the fight. And also just my tears were silent tears. So it's okay.
You know,
I wasn't sobbing.
I somehow didn't cry in the retirement package when they were watching it in the cage. I actually thought they could have. It was good, but I thought the video could have been a little bit better that they played for him. They
Yeah,
didn't
because
really highlight
they used the good stuff leading up to.
exactly. Yeah, they did.
You know?
Yeah, it wasn't really about like we talk about moments. That clip at the end didn't really focus on big moments. It was more just like a highlight reel. Is kind of what they played them instead of like the mountaintops that he climbed, and they could have done a little bit better there, but the first one that they showed where they interview his first ever martial arts coach and his wife and his mom and
So
his
good.
daughter,
Did you
dude,
see the video of him reading the
that broke
letter
me.
that
Oh
Theo
my
Vaughn
God.
wrote from?
Yeah.
So many emotional moments
What a
leading up
legend.
to. Again, the buildup was insane. All right, we are 30 minutes in, my friend. So we'll probably breeze through these other fights a little bit faster. Some of them
Let's be
lasted
real.
maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah, let's be real. A lot of these fights on this card, I know a lot of people are like,
It was a good card, though.
it was all right. For me, it was like there was a lot of finishes to start it, but a lot of those were pretty bad mismatches where it was like, okay, yeah, they got the finish, but like, of course they did. What are we talking about? We got some of these fights were like matchmaking is kind of stupid, but yeah, we can move on.
All right, we also had Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov.
This one very much surprised me. I see a lot of people say, this is old Paulo Costa's back. I don't know, dude. This looks like a different Paulo Costa to me. This doesn't look like Paulo. If we're talking about the eraser where he's going through smashing everybody in his first couple fights, and
this is a more calculated Paulo Costa.
That's Paulo Costa version 1, and then we got the post Izzy Paulo, which is I guess version 2, which was pretty bad, and then for a few fights, and then he was like after that Strickland fight, he's like, I'm never fighting like that again. You have my fucking word. And then now we're not back to Paulo version 1. This is Paulo version 3. He looks he fought smart too. It wasn't just berserker mode. He fought smart against a tricky guy like Kopylov.
The power is there, speed is there, but I love how he really mixed his shots up, man.
Bro,
he did such a good job.
The body kick. Kopylov is tough as nails, man. He ate so many baseball bats to his ribs. I don't know how he did that. And to your point too, even the cross to the body that Paulo was landing, very good and very dangerous against a counter striker like Kopylov. A lot of times you throw straights to the body almost as bait to get them to counter so that you can then counter their counter. And if you're fighting a counter striker, going to the body is a little dangerous with punches. Kopylov couldn't even touch him for the first 2 rounds.
And he was doing this thing too where like it's almost like he's throwing an overhand right, and Kopylov would go with the high guard, and then he would go straight down to the sternum.
Spear him, dude.
Straight down to the sternum. And you saw a few of those kind of make Kopylov wince. But I thought that was a very smart approach.
Very good. And one thing that you can really see play out in this, if people are interested in open stance matchups, hey, shout out Ghost. Thanks for joining.
What up, Ghost?
But if this shot right here is slipping. When you have open stance, the jab is not quite as effective as it would be in a closed stance matchup, just because the lane is a little different. You almost have to like jab past their lead shoulder. But the rear hand, the power hand is open. That lane is open. So for Kopylov to be, this is just kind of the epitome or one of the nuances of the open stance matchup is slipping the jab to land your right straight, because if you're orthodox, because that lane is there, the lane isn't quite there for the jab, you can slip it a little bit easier, and then you can just throw that piston down the middle. And twice Costa had Kopylov hurt bad with his straight off of a slip on the jab. Very cool to see, because you don't think of Paulo as like I'm not going to say he was like the most nuanced in this fight or anything like that, but compared to what we have seen from him, this was leagues above, I thought. Leagues above.
And you had mentioned there's a version of Paulo after the Adesanya fight. Going up to the Adesanya fight, he was undefeated. So like people forget, like his record's only 15-4 right now.
Yeah, it's really the problem is like if you look at when you start looking into like those fights, like actually looking at the fights, not just like who it was or like it's not just names, right? There's like, okay, Johnny Hendricks. All right. Like that.
By the way, Johnny Hendricks, now he's an officer over here on this side of Texas.
Yeah, watch out. We don't need
Yeah. A little bit of CT, but it's okay, dude. Just don't mess with him.
Yeah. You might see flashbacks, dude. Yeah, and Ghost says you should still jab in open stance matchups because it controls rhythm. That's something that's misunderstood about open stance matchups. You can still jab, but it's not to land, but to control it. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like it's not. That's a good clarification. Like obviously, jab is still important, and there's plenty of times where you see open stance matchups where the jab is, and actually in the main event, the southpaw jab from Dustin was actually working very well as the fight moved on, even though it was an open stance matchup. and you can use the jab to also establish or work off of like lead hand fighting in the open stance matchup. So it is important, but it is also, and here's a picture of the jab landing on Paulo Costa, right? But it is something that you can take advantage of with your rear hand if someone's just jabbing to land and there's no real methodology to it. And Kopylov looked kind of lost in the first what 8 minutes
It
of this
just
fight.
wasn't the fight he expected.
Yeah, I mean, he just looked like I don't even know what to do. He never got set. And as the fight went on, obviously he started landing and stuff, but
Hey,
he
Costa's
really
still on
didn't
the
get going.
secret juice, huh?
Dude, he's got a chin, man.
He does.
He's got a
He
chin. Remember
does.
the Yoel Romero fight, dude?
Oh
That
yeah,
fight was fucking
was
awesome,
amazing.
dude.
That was amazing.
So
Just
good.
bleed gods, man. Look at him, his little crazy antics, sticking his tongue out once he actually got clipped.
Yeah,
He kept on telling him
he's
to
a
bring
dog.
it too. There was another fighter on the card that kept on saying to bring it. We'll talk about that one later. But that was it, I think, for the Costa fight. Props
Definitely.
to Costa. I think he was ranked 13th in this one. Kopylov was 14th. So we'll see what's next. But they got to give him somebody that's ranked higher now, I think. All right.
Give me some action from Paulo Costa.
Yes. We also had Holland versus Rodriguez. D-Rod versus Kevin Holland.
This one surprised me. I don't know why. Maybe it shouldn't have in hindsight or something, but this one surprised me. I thought this arguably could have got fight of the night. I thought this
so good. I was shocked it didn't.
Yeah, I kind of was shocked it didn't. I thought, both guys had their moments. Both guys were hurt. First round, a little pedestrian. I think was the first round that D-Rod dropped him, or the second round. I think it was. I could be wrong. I don't remember, but
it was the first round. Then the second round, Holland dropped him.
No, it was the third round that Holland dropped him.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could be wrong. Fuck, who knows? But what I do know is it was a banger. It was a little sloppy.
You're right. Second round, Holland gets dropped. I was just taking a look at my notes right now.
Yeah.
Good thing I take notes. I should read them now.
I should start taking them too.
But yeah, so the first round, the thing that I wrote down was Holland looking more like the technical striker, which was surprising for me because Holland usually could get a little wild. D-Rod was the one that extending his combinations, shooting from the hip, like literally like storming towards them. And I understand that Holland's the longer man. He's trying to close the distance. And those long ass legs, as Holland takes a step back, he's really taking a normal human's 3 steps back, right?
Yes.
And so Rodriguez is like,
and with that height,
blitzing after him, like shooting from the hip, just like as high as he can.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, and then hey, shout out, what's up, y'all? I think Poirier is the real BMF. Well, he's got to fight for it.
We'll see. I think Dana said maybe both belts up for grabs.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Pretty soon. Yeah.
Could happen. But yeah, so second round, Holland comes in a little reckless. Not even that reckless, to be honest. But now we see a nice short punch from D-Rod, a nice composed punch.
Yes.
That
on the
beats
chin
him to
too.
It. Yeah, turns his head, drops him. Holland is hard to put away. He's very hard to put away. And he's scrambling off of his back. You see him throw up triangles. You see him try to throw up arm bars. And where he has gotten those, he's gotten those quick snatch submissions in the past. D-Rod stayed good, hurt him again when they got back up. And I was like, man, maybe it was too much. Maybe D-Rod expended too much energy trying to finish him in that second round. Well, let's see what the third round is like. And I don't know if that was necessarily the case. I think this is a very good adjustment from Holland to start throwing these uppercuts because D-Rod's kind of got that high guard. He punches his way into this position here, grabs him with a single collar tie, hits him with the uppercut, and just completely takes the legs out from under him. Fucking crazy. Because at this point, I'm like, how much... Maybe D-Rod gassed himself out trying to finish Holland, but how much does Holland even have left? Not just in the gas tank, but headspace-wise. He got beat up pretty bad that second round. And then from that moment on, it was just pure chaos.
How about when D-Rod, right, is defending, Holland's throwing a bunch of crazy shots at him. He lands a huge right, and D-Rod's head snaps, and like there's a slow reaction where he turns, and then he just like, oh shit. Like,
yeah,
dude, he was out on his feet.
Dude, it happened twice.
After he got hit, I want to say it was Paul Felder. He's like, he's out. Like, he's out. And like, he's literally looking in the opposite direction, just standing there. And then he turns around like he just like snapped back into it.
It happened twice. I think the next shot is going to show three shots in one sequence. where he got the single collar tie again.
This is it.
He uppercuts him. It was literally like a cartoon, like an animated movie where someone gets hit and they're like, "Whoa!" It was like shout out to the Harry Potter fans in the second Harry Potter, the troll in the bathroom when they smack him and he's like, "Whoa!"
Oh,
it was literally like that.
I don't know what that means.
He uppercuts him. This last shot on the far right here is D-Rod just staring off into space, completely out on his feet. And as he's falling, Holland just dives in on him with a right hand. Fucking yes, first Harry Potter. Thank you, Rich. Shout out to the new cast. They're filming the new TV series out there in the UK. But this moment was fucking sick, dude. This uppercut, and D-Rod literally.
How does he survive that, dude? It is insane.
It's crazy. I had to go back and get this screenshot because, and it doesn't really do it justice. That third picture of him standing there, it was like a good half second of him just like.
Yes.
It was crazy, dude. Just completely gone. And then he ends up on top to finish.
That's what I was gonna say. And to top it off, he finishes. That kind of reminded me a little bit of the Gypsy King.
Oh.
Where he gets dropped and then he ends up winning the rest of the round,
against
right?
Wilder. Yeah.
Against Wilder, yes. Gets dropped in the 12th, ends up winning the rest of the round.
What a fun saga that was.
Now, granted, D-Rod wasn't completely flatlined like that, but
yeah,
he was out like while he was standing.
Yes.
Autopilot, 100% of the way.
Completely. And they go to the decision, and I'm like, you could argue there's an argument to be made that Kevin Holland won that first round, almost like a sparring session, won that first round, lost the second.
Yes.
And then you could argue he won that third round. I kind of feel like he maybe did. I feel like 29-28 Holland might have been the better scorecard, but to be honest, it was so crazy that
I think he won the first. I think D-Rod won the second, and I think third was a toss-up. So I'm happy with either or.
Yeah, it's not a robbery by any means.
Yeah,
I just feel like maybe Holland was closer to finishing the fight on multiple occasions in that third round, whereas D-Rod maybe had more control that third round, and it's kind of just one of those things. I think it was split though, right?
Yes, I think so. Also, D-Rod starting to lose his hair, just decides to tat up the head, dude. Your boy here might just start doing that. I'm just gonna tat up my head, have a new hair, but it's just tats.
You're gonna do just the fake hair that people get, the tattoo that it looks like
no,
stubble, like a buzz cut.
That looks awful. No, I'm just gonna get like Texas, like a couple different things just like around my head. Dude.
You're just gonna get the Dallas Cowboys star.
SOF, dude. SOF in the back. We'll see. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We also had Patricio Pitbull versus Dan Ige.
Yes, we won't spend a ton of time on this fight, but you got to give his flowers. People are shitting on this fight more than I think it deserves, to be honest. I thought first round, again, kind of pedestrian, a little bit of a sparring match. Second round, we got to see some real crafty vet moves from Pitbull. Cool takedown, back body lock slam. Ige gets back up. He still has the back control. Hits him with a sick-ass foot sweep to take him down. That was really cool to see from Pitbull. And then had him hurt up against the fence, had him shelled up against the fence a few times in the second round where he's throwing these combinations. And you could see Ige's like, I'm covering up, but these punches are getting around. And they were like stunning him for a bit there. Third round, I think Pitbull didn't really have anything left for the third round.
Yeah.
Other than some again, crafty veteran timing on takedowns. Ige landed some shots in the third round. Never really got his power. He never really showed his power in this fight, Ige, because he does hit hard.
Yep, he sure does. I mean, that's what he's really known for. He's known for those stunning KOs, right?
Yes, that Sean Woodson one. Whew.
But props to Pitbull. I believe it is his first one in the UFC.
First one in the UFC.
I can't stand that guy, Captain America's or whatever, dude.
Oh God, the coach.
So like camera hungry. He just makes sure he's in the right position. You can tell he's like staring at the camera as they're walking out together, and he adjusts like where he's standing to make sure like, dude, come on, man, get out of here.
Yeah,
get out of here.
A lot of people are giving shit for this one. They're like, I don't really ever want to see Pitbull fight again. I understand. I thought the second round was very fun. Overall, probably not an exciting fight. It does really suck.
Well, it doesn't help that DC was shitting on the entire time.
Yeah, I know.
So funny. He's like, look, man, I didn't really follow his career in Bellator, but for lack of better words, he's like, I don't really see what everybody was all like high on him for.
But this is the thing that sucks, especially about that quote. DC early on, he's like, I didn't really watch his stuff in Bellator. And then once he's having success, he's like, see, this is how Pitbull's so good. And you're like, you don't even know what do you mean this is how he's so good? Like, you already said you didn't watch. But it sucks because there's a lot of people who didn't watch. They only go off the hype, and they don't realize that this guy's like almost 40 years old at a lower weight class. He's been knocked out a few times before he got
He was
to the
one of the
UFC
best in the world in his division.
He was cool, man. And look,
yeah.
he had some action fights. He did. But a lot of good Pitbull for performances weren't crazy exciting. But that doesn't mean he wasn't elite,
Yep.
He's still a fun guy, a legend of the sport, and it does kind of suck. I'm glad we got him at some point, and we get to see him get a win in the cage or the octagon. But it does suck that we got him so late. It's a bummer.
Yeah, for sure. This just in, UFC just signed Fedor. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber.
Bro,
Johnson still got it. 39 years old, dude. The speed. Everybody says the first thing to go is the speed. The last thing to go is the power. How about your boy Michael Johnson coming in there, the faster man, still cracking with that left.
His hand speed is truly special, man.
Needs to be studied.
He's always been so fucking fast, and he's smaller for the weight class at this point. He's one of the OG lightweights where, lightweights are bigger now than they used to be, and he's just kind of stayed there. Did he try at 145? He did, right? I believe he had some 145 fights. I think he had a decent amount of them.
Did he?
Where he's getting, he fought Josh Emmett. That was a bad one.
Oh, okay.
He missed weight at featherweight in the fight before that.
He fought the GOAT? Artem Lobov?
Artem Lobov? Yeah, he fought at featherweight. Zellhuber's never fighting at featherweight. He's huge. But this fight, man, the whole fight is just Zellhuber trying to land that open side head kick. They'd reset. Michael Johnson would throw a combination with his hands. He'd duck out, and then they'd reset, and then bam, high kick. And then Michael Johnson would throw a flurry with his hands. He'd reset, high kick. Really all he offered. I thought after that first round, I was like, oh man, this is looking like a Michael Johnson fight. But then you remember that all fights look like Michael Johnson fights until he gets caught with something. There's always, I love Michael Johnson. I mean this with no disrespect, but there's always like those memes of it's like snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. He's been so close to winning a lot of the fights that he has lost. He's been so close to winning, and just something happens. So it's like the whole time you're like still like, he's kind of outclassing him here, but will he keep it up? And he did. And when he dropped Zellhuber, I was like, holy shit, man. He's got some pop on that left hand too. That's still there. The hand speed is nice. Very cool to see.
What a career he's had though, huh?
Who's who?
Crazy.
He's fought so many greats.
Crazy. All right.
Yeah.
We shall move on because we still have quite a bit
real
of
quick
fights to cover.
Are you surprised that MJ is 3-0 in 2025? How can you not be?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean that with no disrespect, but he wins the decision against Darius Flowers, and you're like, okay. Then they give him the potato farmer, Ahmed Azatar, and he fucking destroys him. That was awesome. And he give him Zellhuber. I don't know what the odds were going into this, but I know they were lopsided. Especially Zellhuber.
He was the second. Zellhuber was the second highest favorite going in, I think. The second biggest underdog for Michael Johnson going into this for the card.
Sense. Yeah, and for him to go out there, drop him in the second round, I am surprised, and I hope he can continue it because he was talking about retiring at some point. He's 39 years old, and the hand speed is fucking unreal, dude. And still his defensive awareness, his positioning and stuff is very good too, man. He's slick, dude. He's always been so slick.
All right, we will move on. I'll just kind of let you breeze through these real quick.
Yeah.
We had Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira.
Yes. Kind of a classic Kyler Phillips fight. First round, he looks very good. Point fighting, he's in and out. He's jabbing. He's throwing straight punches. Shots to the body. He's gone. You try to return, he's gone. And you're like, oh, man, if he can keep this up, it might be a long, frustrating night for Oliveira. But then you're like, but no, it's Kyler Phillips, so he can't keep it up. And he gassed after that first round. And then once he starts slowing down and that movement starts slowing down, now Oliveira can land his shots. And Oliveira just walked him down for the rest of the fight and just beat him down. I mean, Vinicius is very fun, dude. He's a creative striker. He's got an interesting style. I don't know how high the ceiling is necessarily, but I don't really care because He's dangerous in weird positions, and that's cool to watch.
Hasn't lost in the UFC yet, right? He's got some
No.
losses on his record, but he hasn't lost in the UFC yet. So,
And you can see
that's a good
he
win.
has, yeah, and he has plenty of tendencies where it's like, uh, someone's going to be able to take advantage of these things, but right now he's getting away with it, and it's very fun to watch. Those things are always very fun, but they're just not very good longevity wise, you know?
Yeah, and last 3 ones not too shabby. Ricky Simon or
Yeah,
Simone, Said Nurmagomedov, and Kyler Phillips. So pretty good.
very good. And Go says, do you guys like spoilers, like fighters who aren't supposed to win and are getting fed to the process by the UFC, but win anyway, destroying the hopes
Oh, I
and
love
dreams
those.
of the young guy? I will say that might be my favorite thing in combat
Yeah.
sports. That might be my single most favorite thing.
What fight was it where the announcer was like, somebody didn't tell them they were supposed to lose,
I mean, it's the countless list, but
right?
I mean, and we talk about Dustin. Dustin had plenty of moments like that. Those types of fights are, in my opinion, what make combat sports so fucking good. Is that once the cage door locks, once they're in the ropes, it's just those two guys, and all that outside bullshit does not matter, and anybody can really achieve what they. Everybody has so much potential in there. Anything could happen. So when it's so lopsided in the UFC, and you talk to matchmakers. We've talked to matchmakers who literally will say almost 95% of fights they know who's going to win, or they're doing it for one of the fighters and at the expense of the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's closer than others, but the fact that that is how matchmaking works, and then still somebody says fuck that, I'm going out there and doing what I can do, and accomplishes greatness and wins these fights, doesn't get better than that, in my opinion.
Yep. All right.
Shout out PFL. Johnny Eblen just lost a fucking really good comeback, that rear naked choke yesterday. Maybe people didn't watch it because it was PFL, but very cool. And someone didn't tell him he was supposed to lose. Fucking crazy.
Everybody was waiting for the PFL shout out, and I'm glad you did well. We can now fill that part of our bingo card. But we also had Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about this fight. There wasn't like a ton. It was a fun fight. It was entertaining. Not really a lot to talk about other than the fact that, they just stood in front of each other.
Barn burner, man.
Brendan Allen kicked a little bit early on. I thought that was good. And then he just completely stopped, and they just started
Couple
jabbing.
takedowns too in the beginning.
Yeah, and then just stopped
Level
that.
changes.
And then it
You
just
mentioned Allen pointed down to the ground on this one.
yeah, at the end of the fight, he points down. You're like, oh, here we go, dude. These guys have been swinging the whole fight. And then immediately shoots for a takedown. You're like, come on, man. You can't initiate that and then shoot.
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's like going for a 5 in the beginning and then just like slipping in a shot,
I hate that shit. But
Yep.
I will say, how good would Marvin Vettori be if he had any type of power in his punches? Because,
Yeah.
dude,
His boxing has been improving, man, for some time.
well, it's not just that, but it's like he's so durable. He eats so many shots that he will land on you, even if the boxing isn't improving. He just has zero power in his hands. When's the last time you saw him hurt somebody with his hands? It never happens. I don't think he has a TKO from punches in his career. I think
That's rough.
It's rough. And what's the opposite of a glass cannon?
A glass cannon?
You know, a glass cannon where it's like Phil Hawes is a glass cannon. That guy cracks, but then if you touch him, he's dead. It's like you have so much you inflict so much damage, but you can barely take any. That's a glass cannon.
Yeah.
So what's the
And
opposite
look,
where you can
go saying
take
hot
a ton?
take, but maybe what happened to Vittori's brother doesn't entitle Vettori to a win. I saw on socials that people wanted Vettori to win and deserved it because his brother's tragedy.
That's
Look,
not how it works.
that's not how it works, right? Brandon Allen has a job to do as well, just like Max Holloway had a job to do.
Yes.
People could say Dustin Poirier deserved to win because it was his very well fight and all these other things. No, like these fighters are going in there to do their job as well.
Look, I will say that's not how it works, right? And that's why the fact that that's not how it works is why those moments when it does work out are so special, because
Yes.
it rarely happens. Talk about Walt Harris versus Overeem. When Walt Harris lost his daughter, that was horrible. Everything that happened to his family and his daughter was just so bad. And then they book him against Overeem, and you're like, please, Walt, if Walt can get a win here, man, come on. Overeem fucking does what Overeem does, and you're like,
Ubering.
But that's how it works. It doesn't always work just because you have all this. Everybody's got shit going on,
And because of what happened, Brendan Allen said that afterwards he went up to him and was like, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry about what happened to your brother."
Very
And
cool.
then Vettori's coach stepped in and was like, "Fuck you," and he's like, "Dude, I'm talking
Classic.
to Vettori.
Yeah.
Like, we got two grown men there talking about something else. Like, just stay out of it, right?" And so I guess it turned
Yeah.
into drama. Still, they didn't squash the beef or whatever. But Brendan Allen tried, and so to Ghost's point, that doesn't necessarily mean Brendan Allen just has to roll over and allow Vettori to get the win. But it's okay for him to show class afterwards, like he did, and say, "Hey,
Yes.
man, really sorry about what happened." Right? So, all
100%.
right. Nikolay Veretennikov versus Francisco Prado.
Yeah, this was another one. This is one of my favorite fights on the card. I thought Prado. He's like he's from Argentina, right? He's like the Argentinian Drew Dober. And he was looking good early against a large Veretennikov. I mean, fucking huge. And then it all changed. There was a big moment that changed everything, where he gets him in an armbar. Veretennikov picks him up, fucking slams him on his head, and he's like dazed. You could tell he's very close to being out. Veretennikov puts it on him, doesn't get the finish. Second round starts, and Prado's just not there. And then you can see Veretennikov is cracking him. And I was like, oh no, not Prado. I really like Prado. I don't want to see him go out. And then, but it was looking bad. But then he answered back, and for the rest of that fight, he went to war. These guys threw down, dude. This was a fun
Back
fucking
and forth
fight.
battle in that third round, dude. It was insane.
Yeah, very fun fight. I think this one gets probably, and the takedowns were sick from Prado, dude. This big slam, fucking awesome, dude.
This
is a fight that
that's an
if
awesome
you didn't see this, I know rarely do you get this angle of these takedowns like this,
Yeah.
where the guy landing the takedown is like just looking right at the camera. Really cool. If anybody didn't see this fight, very fun fight. Definitely go back and watch it because I think both these guys are very cool. They're fun fighters.
Yes, sir. All right.
Banging.
Are we covering Gautier?
Look, we could have, what would be brief? Gautier, I don't know what the odds were going into this. A lot of this, we talked about it, I think, at the very beginning, where it's like there were so many finishes, but a lot of them were like kind of giving matchups where it's like, of course, they were finished. And this is one of them. Gautier just walks in, hits him once. Robert just never recovered, never got back into never really got
But this is the one where I was like, we'll talk about it later, because Robert gets cracked, dude. He's wobbled. He goes up against the cage, looks at Gautier and goes, "Bring it."
Yeah.
And then just shows up again, gets cracked again. He's like stumbling to the other side of the cage. Gautier's just like pouncing on him at that point. He turns at him for a little bit and goes, "Bring it." Again, it's dropped.
Yeah, dude.
Don't ask for more.
I respect the dog, but yeah, can't do that.
It's okay to turn your hands around and be like, "No more."
It's okay.
It's okay. Like,
or just keep them up.
Yeah,
keep the hands up.
That works too. All right, and then the last fight we're gonna cover. Oh no, we have two more fights. Second to last, Islam Dulatov versus Adam Fugitt.
Yeah, this guy Dulatov is Dulatov, however you say it. He's an interesting one, man. We can watch the finish real quick. There's not a ton to talk about, but cracks him with a short left hand, knocks him out with the ground and pound. Last punch wakes him back up. Can't really see it in the video, but this dude is so far passing the test. We got the handsome Squidward in the comments here. Because he's a model, but why male models? But yeah, I mean, again though, this is one of those fights where if you look at the odds going into it, you're like, well, Fugitt. And this is what sets up those moments, like Ghost brought up, these spoiler type moments where it's like nobody told me he was supposed to lose. The majority of the time, that guy does lose.
Yeah.
And do we learn anything about Dulatov? Not really. We already knew he hits hard. We already knew he's pretty sharp. I want to see him tested at this point, and maybe this is now.
Hopefully, his photo shoot went well today.
Yes, they were talking about how he's got a modeling gig after this, and what if the fight goes long and he's in a war and he can't do his modeling gig? We're good.
Yeah, he's fine. All right.
Yeah. Go says Zoolander reference.
Yes,
I sent you that meme
absolutely.
earlier where it was it's the Zoolander meme or the clip of Ben
Hansel?
Stiller and Owen Wilson where they lock eyes and they start staring at each other, the blue steel and stuff.
Mean mugging.
And it was like Paulo Costa and Dulatov in the locker room backstage after their fights.
That movie's so underrated.
It's so
Such a
funny.
good movie.
You know that question was that line was improv in the moment
Oh, I
when
believe it.
David Duchovny he like spells out he does like a exposition drop and he gives him like every info about what's happening and Ben Stiller's like, but why male models? And he's like, he just in the moment he thought it'd be funny if he like made him repeat himself.
So good, dude. All right, we'll finish it up here with Carli Judice versus Nicolle Caliari.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this one just because Judice, she lost on the Contender Series, split decision. She lost her UFC debut, but it was a split decision and it was fight of the night. And so far, the Dubin fight with the head kick, that was fucking awesome. That knockout in the first round, and now this one, this girl looks good, dude. She looks, I think she's very promising. She's got a lot of
Beautiful adjustment
I
with
mean,
the
just
knees at the middle.
because
And
the
even
whole
if they were
fight,
just
she was
landing
throwing
in
the
the
front
body.
kick.
Yep.
Yeah, the front kick to the knees and the knees. Just we talk about like tunneling, throwing a variety of strikes that look the same off the initial like
Oh, there it
twitch,
is. Oh.
and front kicks, knees, either to the body or to the head, are just some of those things that if you start planting those seeds early in the fight, like and you commit to that, fucking nasty, man. When she dropped her that body shot, oh my god, dude. About
It was good.
need a hole through his stomach. Very cool.
It was very good. All right. Hey, we made it. That was the last fight we're going to cover. Now we go with the moment of silence for the fights that we lost.
Yes. What did we lose? Hebus versus Ricci. That got rescheduled. Bruno Ferreira was supposed to fight Alaskarov. Alaskarov withdrew. So who did Ferreira get? He got McVeigh, and that was horrible, which is why we skipped it. And then Neil Magny was supposed to fight Gunnar Nelson, which was, I think when they announced it, that was supposed to be the co-main, and we're like, what? And then it didn't happen, so it didn't matter, but kind of crazy. But Nelson, man, this is the story of his career right here, is this image. Cancel.
Yeah.
Nelson injury.
And then bonuses, monies. Who got additional cash?
Yeah. Bonuses. Gautier got a bonus for his knockout.
Well deserved. He was good.
Dulatov got one for his knockout. Probably deserves one too.
Yeah.
And I think Judice also. She definitely deserved that.
And then fight of the night.
Fight of the night, surprisingly, was Vettori versus Allen, and they showed.
I like how they used a picture of both of them missing.
I was about to say the picture they choose is both of them missing their punches.
Oh, so
I really did think this was third in line for fight of the night in my opinion. Honestly, even the Prado fight could have been above this in my opinion. But
this is one of those nights where Dana just has to go all yo chatri.
Yes.
$50,000, just like over and over and over again. Everybody deserved it, man. There's so many well, not everybody, but a lot of people deserved a bonus last night.
Yes. Blunderup says, did you see the Wada elbow to the back of the head Friday? One of the more egregious fouls I've seen in one. Yeah, and shout out to the boy, Yuki Yoza. He fought Petch over in one Friday fights. And now they're talking, and he looked fucking phenomenal as always. He hurt him bad in the second round. That guy's so fucking cool the way he chains his combinations. He like punches you or kicks you into position to hit you with another shot and just juggles you. That's Rich knows about juggling in fighting, but as fighting games, you juggle people, right? But he now sets himself up for either a Superlek fight or a Haggerty fight in Japan in November. So that is very cool. So shout out to Warren for that one.
What do we have going on next week? I believe we have, Fight Night Whitaker versus DeRitter in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, man.
RDR versus Robert Whitaker. That's going to be a good one.
Back-to-back events where both guys in the main event are guys I don't want to see lose.
Marcus McGahee stepping up against Piotr Jan.
Yeah.
Talk about a big jump, huh?
Big jump. Yeah, people are pissed about that. I'm fine with it, to be honest.
Let it happen. Marc-Andre Barriol
against Shara Bullet. Almabayev versus Ochoa should be fun. Krylov versus Guskov should be fucking awesome.
Somebody's
Bryce Mitchell is going to get knocked out by Saeed or choked out, so that'll be cool. Salikov versus Liao could actually be really fun.
That's going to be fun, actually, yeah.
Yeah, Salikov's old, a little long in the tooth, but still fun.
His striking, though, still fun.
Yeah, bro, Blackshear versus Davy Grant. Let's fucking go, bro. Davy Grant's so fun. Ricci versus Hebus ended up on this one. Oh, dude, Buchecha making his debut. Let's go.
Marcus Buchecha, dude.
This is a fun card, man.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
What is this?
All right.
I wonder what time it starts because they're in Abu Dhabi.
It says 12 p.m. Eastern time. But it's not always correct on Tapology, so.
Yes.
They're
Is
good
the
at a lot
UFC
of
website
things,
down
giving us
right
an
now?
accurate time. Dude, it probably crashed from all the people trying to look up the information for Dustin Poirier.
Either that or they
Couldn't
just
handle the
blocked my
traffic.
fucking IP
Yeah,
now.
maybe they did block you. this guy shits on us enough, dude.
Yeah.
Block him. But hey, shout out to everybody. Thank you for joining us. Blunderbub, Ghost, Regen, somebody that just has eyes across that sets up. I think Taporia is a real BMF, so thank you as well for joining. We also had somebody else on Twitch. Let's see if I can remember who it was. Oh, Pepper. Can't forget Pepper.
Pepper
And
was
Grim Ori and Twitch joining us. Thank you all. It makes it really fun whenever y'all join us live.
Did we get the rankings? They don't show up on our little platform here, but I don't know if we got the. We have rankings now in the live chat, like a leaderboard for the live chat. I think we. Oh, we do. Hold up, we do.
Oh,
shout out to Blunderbub #1, ranked number 1. Ghost ranked number 2. Regen ranked number 3. Very cool. Don't know what that means, but
is that just based off of how many times they comment? What's it based off of?
I don't really know, but it gives you like experience points, like XP points every time you put something in the live chat.
Oh,
and then
snaps.
based on who has the most, I think you end up on. I don't really know, to be honest. But
Okay. Well,
pretty cool. Shout out to.
You know what else is cool? We just reached 16,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. We continue shooting for the 20,000 that we continue mentioning every single time during our podcast. So please, if you know anybody that even likes combat sports a little bit, tell them to join. Maybe we have fun talking about it. And even if they don't join our lives, tell them to subscribe, because then they'll at least see the clips of fights that really interest them. And they can always comment that way as well. There's plenty of ways to enjoy the content. So just let them know. And then also, if they don't like YouTube, I don't know why they wouldn't, because it's the best way to subscribe and watch our stuff. Then they have other ways.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are found. And then social media is just Story of the Fight on everything. But be like Blunderbub. Be obnoxious as hell and farm XP in our chat. Please do that, because that will help us. So if y'all could get competitive about getting those rankings in the chat, that would help us.
That's awesome. All right.
Maybe we should start doing something. I wonder if it will, like, at the end of the year we can look and see like the rankings across streams, or if it's just confined to like
maybe we do 2
streams.
belts. Maybe we do the predictions belt. Ooh. And maybe we do the XP belt.
That'd be sick. We'll look into that. I don't really know. It's new. It's new, so shout out to YouTube for doing anything, I guess. But
yeah, hey, Will, shout out to you, man. Great insight as always, and a special shout out as Will.
But shout out to you too for all your good insight too.
Nah, dude, nah. I just try to keep it on pace, dude. You're the one that comes in with the solid knowledge, and then we also have Rich in the background on the 1s and 2s. Man, Richard Bustos, our producer. Shout out to Rich. You had something else, Will?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you weren't here to keep the pace, we'd be doing 3-hour episodes every morning.
We'd still be talking right about Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. I'm letting you know right now. And also special shout out to Toasty. Thanks for filling in last week. Held it down. And he, after the show, gave Rich and I insider information. He showed us the ring, let us know he was going to propose to his girlfriend. And I just saw it on Instagram. Congratulations, Toasty. Not only did he let everybody know in this Story of the Fight stratosphere that he was having a baby, he let us know he would be proposing as well. So congratulations to Toasty. Props to you. And thank you, everybody else, for joining us for another week of Story of the Fight.